Hi everybody, my name is Karen Fabian and I'm the founder of Bare Bones Yoga, and thanks for taking a minute to watch my video. So if you're like a lot of the yoga teachers that I connect with, you're looking for ways that you can communicate better with your students via the cues that you provide. And you're also interested in sharing anatomy-based cueing. But what are you supposed to do when you're learning anatomy? It's really hard to share what you don't know. And so this is where this video comes in. I'm going to show you a way to share action-based cues in a way that's really powerful, meaning it'll be really easy for your students to understand exactly what you want them to do. And that's really the point of effective cueing, right? You don't want your students to have to weed through all these words in order to get to the action you want them to take. So I want you to imagine yourself teaching, and I want you to think about using a framework that is only action-based cues. I want you to also let go of any urge to cue people about the breath. They're going to be breathing. This is not the time to be integrating breathing cues into your sequencing. You want to keep your students moving. This would be more for an active flow class. And you want to be able to tell them exactly what you want them to do as soon as possible, and using words that don't require any interpretation on their part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick demo for you here, and I'm going to be doing yoga, which I wouldn't be doing if I was teaching. I would just be talking people through it. I don't typically do any yoga when I teach, and I suggest that you definitely try to do the same thing, because then it allows you to see your students and see how your cues are landing on them and modify what you're saying if you need to. So for today though, of course, since I don't have a demo person with me, I'll just talk through how the cues would sound if I were just cueing people in class. So we'll go through just a quick sun salutation using this framework of action cues only. Bring your feet together, arms at your sides, sweep your arms up. Bring the hands through the middle, forward fold. Bend your knees a little, lift halfway up. Set your hands down, step your feet back. Hold here, draw your belly button into your spine. Come forward slightly and lower halfway, press back through your heels. Point your toes, come into up dog, press your chest forward, and then roll over your toes, press your hips up. Walk your feet to the top of the mat, sweep your arms up to the sky, bring your hands to your heart center. Arms by your sides, sweep up, bend your knees a little, fold down. Bend your knees a lot, lift halfway up. Set your hands down, step your feet back. Hold here, pressing into the ground, center your head over your body, press back through your heels. Come forward slightly and lower halfway, hug your elbows in. Point your toes, press your chest forward, squeeze your thighs. Roll over your toes, take your hips up and back. Step your right foot forward, drop your back heel, reach your arms up. Bring your hands down, step your foot back. Repeat as before, come forward and lower a little. Come into up dog, press your chest forward, roll over your toes. Step your left foot forward, drop your back heel, reach up. Bring your hands down to the mat, step your foot back, come forward and lower a little. Lift up, point your toes. Lift your hips, press your thigh bones back. So that gives you a flavor of teaching just from action. Now, I'm not recommending you use literally the same words that I use, but I hope you can see that the style of cueing is focused primarily on action. I'm not cueing anything to breath. I'm not even really saying the name of the pose. Now, if this really is triggering for you and you think it dumbs down yoga, this definitely isn't the video for you, and I'm not the teacher for you. However, if you're open to coaching, if you're open to learning, there is a window of opportunity here for you to see how this style of teaching would work. And the best way to evaluate how it works is to ask your students for some feedback. And even if they don't give you verbal feedback, and even if you never ask them, to watch and see what happens. One of the best indications of how we're doing when we teach is when we watch our students, are their bodies responding in the way we want them to, at least visually, as they move on the mat? We can't control how they feel, and we wouldn't want to do that. However, our cues should be clear so that we see the action that we want in the context of what the person is able to do. There's a lot to that part because, of course, people have all different levels of flexibility and strength, and they sometimes have things, as we all do, going on underneath the skin that they may not even be aware of that will get in the way of proper alignment. This takes advanced anatomy knowledge in order to work with someone and correct some of those things. But for general movement classes, teaching from action can be a really effective way to get people moving and to do it in a way that's safe because they'll understand what you're talking about. So many yoga teachers talk to me about, I want to teach safe classes. Well, if that's what you want to do, one of the best ways you can decrease risk for your students is to improve your cueing skills. And one of the best things to do there is to use words that people will understand. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more information about how to learn anatomy, I'm going to include to this video one of my most popular downloads called 10 Key Steps to Learning Anatomy. It'll take you through a process highlighting just the topics that you need to study. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Namaste.